So for me, when I look at this picture, it just brings back, this is where my civic journey began. And what I mean by that is, first I want to shout out my good friend, Hamid Abdullah, who actually encouraged me to run for office for the city council, if you will, and ran for office. And he was my campaign manager. That was a great experience, and I learned and grew as a human being, for one, in so many ways. Went through that process, and that's how I met my friend and dear brother, DeCosta Hastings, because DeCosta Hastings and I were actually running against each other during that time. Now keep in mind, I had just moved into town maybe 2 years or less, and the reason why I decided, or the reason why Hamid asked me to run, was because I was already doing the work of community engagement, community service, actually raising funds for nonprofits as best I could by actually going and connecting with corporations in the local area, doing all the stuff. And he said, hey, the incumbent, these are words I never heard, and the incumbent is not going to be running again, and so there's an opportunity for you to run. And you know, I didn't know nothing about politics, campaigns, anything, but decided to say, hey, you know what, I'm going to run. Ended up doing that, and it was at that time I met DeCosta Hastings. And I didn't know at the time, but DeCosta Hastings was an elected official for a political party for the county, at the county level. He was an elected official for a political party at the county level. And so he'd ran for office before for the same district. So I didn't know all this. And come to find out, you know, it was a big race, you know, and me coming in could have split the votes. These are things I did not know about when I first started. And over 10 years later, I'm saying these things, you know, I could have split the votes, and it would have affected the runoff and things of this nature that I didn't have no idea about. And so being introduced to, you know, that atmosphere, and then, you know, with Councilmember DeCosta Hastings eventually, you know, being elected to city council for that, or council member for that district, for Metro Nashville's 2nd district, he said, Donovan, hey, I appreciate you being young and getting out here, and even though you had 11 votes and $1,100 in your campaign, you know, you still were out here, and you're hungry, and you want to make a change, and we need more young men, respectfully, more young men of color, you know, to do this. And so he said, you know, if I win this seat, you know, I want you to take my seat, you know, as elected official, but you'll be a elected official, an executive committee member for a political party, but you'll be the executive committee member at the council, at the county level. Didn't know none of this stuff, but at the same time, he said, we can learn and grow together. I don't know anything about this, but it's in my spirit. And Councilmember DeCosta Hastings, I really appreciate, no matter what, the good, the bad, the ugly, the miscommunication, the misinformation, for whatever reason, from what I saw, Councilmember always, and you know, when you're elected official, you got, you know, 20,000 constituents that, you know, have the right to address their opinion because you're the elected official, tax dollars. You know, he went through a lot, the good, the bad, the ugly, the ups and downs, left and rights. And I was there I was there to get a chance to see it. And he always, for me, when I was there, and, you know, it could be someone giving their opinion, telling their truth, and it wasn't pretty. But when he walked away, you know, Donovan, you know, he was a minister, so he's always praying for people, always praying for himself. His wife definitely had his back. I want to shout out the First Lady, and she was always praying for the council member. And so that was one of the biggest things that I appreciated the council member doing, always uplifting, saying, Donovan, don't take it personal. Not saying to me, but you can't take things personal. And then when there were just, you know, misinformation and or he was getting hit with a lot of things, he didn't badmouth anyone. From what I remember, he didn't badmouth anyone. And what I mean by that is, for me, when people say, well, Donovan, you're doing great, and you know, we appreciate what you're doing. Well, respectfully, council member is a part of that, you know, because I saw him move. And, you know, in life, there's good, bad, and ugly. That's life. You don't, you know, take it and, you know, whatever the situation is, that's what it's going to be. No, your life, if you go through a Jeremiah 29:11 situation, is already ordered and stepped for you. You know what I mean? So this is the process for you to build your character and to get to where you're supposed to be in your standards. So to say that, oh, this down situation made you who, you know, or this, and point out every down situation, the down situations are what push us to become great. So my point is, the way he handled any down situation, I took to heart, and I roll with that. And so this is the things that, help me to understand, what civics is about, but then what also being a human being is about. And he was a big part of that. If you see in the picture, I have my children and my wife in the picture. So it was an opportunity for us to all learn and grow as a family and learn the civics and process. My wife, she usually stayed behind the scene, but she definitely went out there and assisted me with signs and phone calls, because that allowed me to, do what I, needed to do. And then, of course, my boys, the troopers, they've been out there since day one. Board meetings, private investor dinners, campaigning. They've been on several campaigns from the local to the federal level. They have friends all over. They put the work in. And so I took a lot of great things out of this picture, out of this experience, and it helped me be who I am today, which is using this platform. So I thank you, Council Member DeCosta Hastings, friend, brother, mentor, associate, for your time, for opening your door, for your wife saying, hey, let's bring this young person in and show them, and give them an opportunity to learn and grow with us. There was being a husband, a father, family man, watching to see how you move, watching to see how your wife moves, it's just a beautiful thing. And so hats off, and thank you again for the opportunity.